Greetings, container gardening grow family. I'm Lionel Leach back at you from right here at the More You Grow Container Gardening. And in this morning's video, we're going to be bringing you guys an update on our Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant. In our last video update on our Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant, our plant was about 4.5 feet tall in that video. I think it was maybe 3 months old or so in that video. And a lot has changed with our Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus since our last video update. Now, since our last video update, we've actually taken the liberty of pruning our Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant back to down to around the 4 foot in height mark. And we did that because our Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant was becoming extremely gangly and leggy, and that's normal for this variety of Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant. They grow that way, and the only way to really keep them bushy and full is to actually prune those plants. So again, we took the liberty of about 3 weeks ago coming out here, and we pruned our Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant back down to around the 4 feet in height mark. It had grown to around 6 to 6.5 feet tall. In this morning's video, we're going to show you guys exactly what it was that we did with those cuttings and exactly what our Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant is looking like currently at this time. Take a look at this. As I lower this camera, you guys are going to notice that, bam, our Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant has indeed been pruned back. You guys can see those areas where we pruned this plant back about 3 weeks ago. Those cut places where we cut it there at the top of these branches has already healed over and dried out. And since we took the liberty of coming out here and pruning our Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant, as you guys can see, it has put on about 3 inches of new growth at the points where we pruned it off at, and all of the branches below the place where we pruned it off at have begun to grow at a geometric rate, and that's causing our plant to bush up and be more of a bush style plant as opposed to being gangly as it looks down here at this bottom where there's virtually no leaves. That's because this plant grows very, very fast and very gangly in an upright direction. As you guys can see, it is full here in this area, and we're hoping to keep that same growth pattern going on with our Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant at this point. Now, for those of you guys and gals that are currently watching this video and who are wondering what exactly it is that we did with those cuttings, the cutting that we took from the top of this Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant was about 20 inches, 16 to 20 inches in length. We took those cuttings, we cut those cuttings in half to cuttings that were about 6 to 8 inches long. Mahogany Splendor and other varieties of hibiscus plants are very, very, very easy to root if you use the right type of cuttings, take it from the right point in the right place of the plant. And what you want to do when it comes to propagating hibiscus cuttings, you want to remember that you want to use the softer wood from the plant. This wood out here at the bottom is stiff. It's not very flexible. As we come up the stem, it becomes a little more flexible, but at the top it's very flexible. You want to use that flexible wood to use to propagate new hibiscus plants from your cuttings. Important thing to remember is to take cuttings that are indeed flexible and soft wood cuttings, but you want to take cuttings that are about 6 to 8 inches long, and you want to take cuttings that are about half of the diameter of a pencil. Now again, we took several cuttings from this Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant. We took those cuttings, we cut those cuttings in half. We removed all of the foliage from those cuttings except for a few leaves at the top. And this is what we have going on in the way of propagation with those several cuttings that we took from our Mahogany Splendor Hibiscus plant about 3 weeks ago. These are those cuttings. We have those cuttings here in this container here. We only have about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches of water in this container. We simply took our cuttings, again removed the majority of that foliage from the stems, and we dropped our cuttings down in this container about 3 weeks ago. As you can see, all of our cuttings have put on new growth. We didn't have nearly this many leaves on our cuttings at the time that we began this propagation experiment. The leaves that do remain, they are growing, they are healthy and there are vibrant leaves that you guys can see. What we're gonna do at this point is we're gonna pull these cuttings, or a few of these cuttings, up out of this container and see if we've been successful at rooting our hibiscus cuttings in water during the past 3 weeks. Now, all that we've done with this container since we've placed our hibiscus cuttings in this container is we've come out and we've added water to this container when necessary. We haven't changed the water or exchanged the water for fresh water or anything like that. It's not really necessary when it comes to hibiscus cuttings, especially if you use the right size cuttings and the right type of wood. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and pull our cuttings up out of this water. I think we have maybe 5 or 6 cuttings in this container. We're going to pull these cuttings out, and we're going to find out, along with you guys right here and right now, whether or not we've been successful in rooting our hibiscus cuttings in water during the past 2.5 to 3 weeks here in our high tunnel greenhouse. Now, we have had some colder days here, but we keep our greenhouse illuminated 24 hours a day with our grow lamps. And we also keep our greenhouse heated during the colder nights. Take a look at what we have growing on here, Green Thumb Gardening family. I pulled these cuttings out of this container of water. As we go down the line here, take a look at this. Bam! Can you guys see the tremendous amount of roots that have indeed begun to form on our hibiscus cuttings here in this shallow container of water? Very, very easy process. The most main thing to remember is patience when it comes to rooting these cuttings. Again, we haven't exchanged the water. We've simply come out when necessary and topped our container off with about a half an inch of water when necessary. If you look at our water line in that container, it has a few specks of debris in it, but most of those specks of debris came from our cuttings themselves. The water's not discolored or moldy or anything like that. It's still aerated, and our cuttings are indeed looking fantastic at around day 21 in this container in our high tunnel greenhouse. Thanks for watching. And if indeed you do currently find yourself watching this video on rooting hibiscus cuttings in water, not only subscribe to the More You Grow Container Gardening, please take this moment to click that subscribe button beneath this video, that like button, that notification button, and be sure, Container Gardening Grow family, be sure to share this video with your friends and family as well. Yeah, growing mahogany splendor hibiscus plants from cuttings in our high tunnel greenhouse. Thanks for watching.